Thank you, Reverend Margaret and the team of Alignment, Interfaith Alignment, for your very precious contributions to creating peace and harmony in the world. You all do a very, very, very important, I wouldn't say task, but an action of love and dedication. Thank you. And it's an honor to be part of all of you. Today's session, Reverend Margaret invited the theme of Frashokereti. Now, in the Zoroastrian faith, Frashokereti is the refreshing of existence for the good of all. It is the Zoroastrian worldview. And this refreshment is for the collective, for the individual, and indeed for all of nature. So the theme today really is to refresh ourselves and renovate the world. Generally, the concept of Frashokereti is taken to be refreshment at the end of time and overall renovation. But the way we see it is a significant refreshment with each breath while working towards the good of all. It is the returning to a perfect state, a state of light, of love, of the good of all. And while doing this, it builds goodness, peace, and harmony. So in this session, the concept of Frashokereti will be, as I see it, very different from the overall idea of renovation at the very end of existence, at the end of time, but instead renovation with every breath, with every moment, with every step, with hope, and in the context of aligning with the great creative energy that guides all of existence, which in the Zoroastrian faith is referred to as Ahura Mazda, the great creator that guides, the great wisdom. And this is acknowledged in every single creation.
Now to tell you how the breath is to be taken, I shall speak right at the end, after Karishma finishes her talk on Frashokereti.
Thank you, Mami. So the concept of Ahura Mazda, this great wisdom, so if you just focus on what Mami said, how the breath is to be taken. In fact, if you tell us how breath is to be taken with an alignment with Ahura Mazda now, it will actually help the session. Please.
Firstly, when you pray, you align yourself with Ahura Mazda, or whom you call God. God is not to be personalized, not to be thought of as a human being, either a man or a woman. But to align with that God, that Ahura Mazda, you have to keep your mind absolutely open and clear. When you pray, you become one with the universe. You become one with that God whom you worship, or the fire you worship, or whoever you worship God through. It can be wind, it can be moon, it can be sun, it can be anything that you see, the very creation of that energy, that vibration, that light. Everything is created by light, actually. So when you can just image that light in your mind and pray with all your heart, become one with the divinity. With that, if the priest is praying, You become one with the priest and offer your prayers to that God. You don't look here, there, everywhere, talk to somebody, or think of something else. All your thoughts, all your will, all your energy, you must devote to that divine, that divinity, that beautiful light, and pray with all your attention. Do not allow any thoughts to disturb you, but just let them pass. You think about 50 to 60 times in a minute, 50,000 to 60,000 breaths. I mean, the thoughts pass through your mind in the whole day. But you should not take cognizance of your thoughts while praying. Just let them pass, let them go on their own. All you have to do is to pay attention to your breath. Now, how to breathe is to take the breath out of your body first with all the impure air. If you're holding a sack of potatoes in your hands and you have to pick up some roses, what would you do? You drop those potatoes and you'll pick up the roses. Same way, you'll let the bad energy, the bad breath out of your body and take in fresh breath, fresh energy, and fresh power in your body. And that is your renovation. One breath after another, you breathe out first, then take in another breath. Breathe out again, take in another breath. Like that, with all the attention on your breath and becoming one with the divinity, you offer your prayers. When you are meditating in quiet place, the place should be the same place where you normally sit and meditate, at the same hour preferably. But you can meditate anywhere and everywhere also. Even in a crowd of people, at a party or wherever you want to meditate, you can meditate. It's not that you only have to sit in that one place at the same time and all that. If you do that, it is an exercise. It is better because you can concentrate better. You can think better. Rather, you can be one with the divinity. So all you do is put your tongue on your palate to open up the passage at the back of your throat so more air can go inside. Look inwards within you with your eyes slightly raised. Your tongue should be on your palate and your mouth should be closed, and breathe in through your nostrils. Breathe out also through your nostrils. Do not open your mouth. By doing this, you're taking in as much fresh air as possible into your lungs. Your lungs will inflate, more blood will flow into the lungs, and there will be an exchange of air and blood, which is called hemoglobin. It'll form hemoglobin, which is the red color of your blood, which has all the oxygenated blood in it, in the lungs, and your health will be first class. If you cannot breathe properly, you will not get that oxygen to burn in your body and to create more energy. You will lack in something or the other and get some disease. So it is better to breathe this way. Breathe in 4 counts. Breathe out 8 counts to start with. As time progresses and you become an adept at it, you can keep increasing the time as you wish. Instead of 4 counts, it can be 6 counts and 12 counts. It can be 12 counts and 24 counts. Whichever way you prefer, whatever your capacity, you can do as you wish. But don't start with a high count first, because then you'll be discouraged and you'll stop doing it. So start low and carry on with a greater number of breaths per minute. Shorter number of breaths per minute. Like, for instance, right now you must be taking 12 breaths in a minute. You can bring it down to 4 breaths. Most people, when they bring it down, they can barely bring it down to 4 breaths. But if you can bring it down to 1 breath, like the gurus do, like the religious teachers do, then it will be worth your while. But you don't have to do that. You can bring it down very slowly from 12 to 11, 10, and so on and so forth. Now, when you take a deep breath, breathe in all the love, all the light, all the energy that you can possibly muster. When you breathe out kindness, breathe out love, breathe out compassion, breathe out peace, and all the nice things you can give to the world. Become one with the world. We are one with everything, one creation. We are one with them all. Therefore, we become one with the divinity. In everything, you see that divinity. In everything, whether it's a tree or you can hug the tree, you can talk to the tree, the same way as you can talk to a dog, you can hug the dog. Birds also, the same thing. You pet the birds, you talk to them, and they will listen to you. They'll honor you, they'll answer you back in their own language. That is becoming one, the oneness of the universe. Universe listens to whatever you say. Whatever your thoughts, if they are positive or negative, are vetoed by the universe. And if they are good thoughts, good words, good deeds, they are taken action upon. You will get the reward automatically. You don't have to wait for the reward. You don't have to ask for the reward. You don't have to beg God for this, that, and the other. God knows what you should have, what is good for you. Even if it is unhappiness, even if it is what you may think is unhappiness, what you may think it is sadness, if somebody passes away in the family or whatever happens, just say to yourself, it has happened for my good. It has happened for the good of all. Nothing happens without God's will. Nothing happens without your good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Anything that you wish for comes true. But please see that you speak only the positive words, not the negative words. Refresh yourself with good breaths all the time, which is Frashokereti, which renews every cell in your body, which gives you that freshness, that beauty in your mind. Help yourself to all the energy in the world. Help yourself to freshness, the breaths, the love of people, the love of everybody. Love everything and everybody, because God resides in every cell of everybody and everything, whether it's water, fire, earth, people, birds, animals, fish, whoever it is, whatever it is. God resides in every little thing. And that God is just light and energy. Thank you.
Thank you, Mummy. It was lovely. But this energy, this light and love, or what is called God, is acknowledged in the Zoroastrian faith as being within all creations. I've given you the verse numbers in case any one of you who watches this recording or is on this session happens to want to do some research into the Gathas or the words of Prophet Zarathustra. This divine energy that guides this great wisdom is to be experienced within one's inner self, is seen in one's inner eye. And one can do this when one does one's breathing, as Mami just explained, to acknowledge that this great, magnificent creation that you are, that each one of us is a manifestation of that divine energy, the Creator. And the Prophet Zarathustra also says that it is a beneficent force called Spentamainu, but this beneficent force creates all of creation. As Mami explained, the essence of the Zoroastrian faith is always understood as good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. And if one looks a little deeper, a key message of the Zoroastrian faith is righteousness that leads to happiness. But as Mami explained, this righteousness is to be followed for its own sake. And just doing that, whatever is best for the good of all in the moment, gives a sense of happiness, gives a sense of being in alignment with that great energy, that great wisdom. And in alignment, very importantly, as Mami explained, with all of creation, because all of creation has the essence of that great wisdom. And that feeling is called ushta, or happiness. It's a happiness that comes from doing the best. Now, in the Zoroastrian faith, this concept of righteousness is represented by fire and light. So as the light within each one of us is important, so also is the light within each creation. So in the prayers, a very key phrase when praying through fire to the great divine energy, the creative energy, the great wisdom, is a phrase that says, "Purify me, Ahura Mazda." This phrase here.
Every religion has got fire in some
Very
form
true.
or the other.
Every religion has fire, light, creation. Absolutely.
And they all pray through fire.
Very true. And then there's a lovely little phrase in the litany unto the fire that says, "May the fire burn bright until Frashokereti," this refreshment, is achieved. So there is a very clear link between fire and Frashokereti, or the refreshment of all existence. Another very important concept in the Zoroastrian faith is that happiness comes to one through whom happiness reaches others. So while we do say good thoughts, good words, good deeds, we do talk of righteousness, the most important is to bring about peace, harmony, progress, prosperity, and happiness for all, including the earth, including all of creation. Now, in the songs of wisdom that the Prophet Asho Zarathushtra has left, he dedicates the very fire of his breath, the breath of his life, and his good mind to the divine energy and wisdom. and he devotes his words and his actions to righteousness and the conscience. The word for the conscience is sarosh, but let's just call it the conscience for now. So it's in order to bring about refreshment, bring back into existence all of righteousness, we need life, we need breath, we need the mind, and we need action. So the definition that I'm putting to you today is that while the great scholars consider Frashokereti to be at the end of time, some thousands of allegorical years away, when I read the Gathas of Zarathustra, when I listen very carefully to the words of the prayers in the Zoroastrian faith, Frashokereti is a process with every breath, with every moment of adding goodness and light to all of existence, including oneself, to bring about the good of all. So it's from righteousness to happiness. And yes, it's through good action, which incorporates good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. Take a moment to reflect on this concept of breath. Every breath, every moment is a new beginning. And through your breath, you are actually connected to all of creation. You are also through your thoughts, but in reality, at the cellular level, your breath is actually firing the furnace in every cell of your body through the mitochondria. So when you want to refresh yourself, when you want to take good action to refresh the world, your breathing needs to be its most efficient so that your DNA, your actions, your thoughts, your endocrine system, they're all in a stress-free, very authentic state of you in line with your creator. So this concept of Frashokereti, if one looks at a little deeper, you'll see it as progress. Fra means to put forth. Fra, to go forward. Frasho, through Asha, which is righteousness, which is linked to the fire, which is linked to truth and purity. Kereti actually translates as good action. So Frashokereti, by breaking down the words, is putting forth your fire, your truth, through your good actions to transform the world and bring it back to this pure state of Asha, or total purity, without any evil, something that is all good. But look at it with a slightly wider lens. It brings about the better self. It improves the lives of your team, your family, society. When everyone is happier and in a better righteous state, more just, more fair, there is increased productivity. Now, when there is increased productivity, you bring about progress of the world while protecting and regenerating the environment. So ecology is absolutely key to Frashokereti. Thus, may the fire burn bright until Frashokereti is achieved is a statement that reflects the individual and the whole of fraternity, the fraternity we are part of, all the collective, and nature, such that happiness comes to all. So now some of the advice the Prophet Zarathustra gave is making a fresh start with hope by manifesting good thoughts, good words, and good deeds. But this needs to come about by making choices at every moment in time with discretion to implement wisdom. So using all the knowledge we have with our own internal intelligence, which has to be in line with all of creation. It's called kratum, intelligence, your intellect, your light of the mind. And these choices need to be done in line with righteousness for the good of all. This really reflects the concept of Frashokereti. Another key guidance of Prophet Zarathustra is to honor all people, men and women, all souls, for the good that they do, such that we advance together for happiness and harmony with everybody, not alone. So this worldview, Frashokereti, is advancement towards all that is good, removing evil with every moment, every step of the way, with every breath, doing more good to replace evil, thus advancing in harmony, happiness, peace, and prosperity. So Frashokereti, when one studies the Gathas, the guidance of Prophet Zarathustra, tells us all this to promote asha, righteousness, purity, through good action, to remove evil and replace it with good, refresh existence at every moment, thus incrementally and synergistically all together, we contribute to an overall renovation. There are a few things that we can talk about further, but let's break for a few minutes in case anyone has any questions. And then with Reverend Margaret's permission, I've got a few more slides that will help us answer a few questions, such as what is good action? What is the guidance? Reverend Margaret, over to you in case anyone has any questions.
So my friends, this is our normal time for breaking, but if you have time to stay on, please do. I'm so grateful for what you're sharing. I think this is, as we listen to your words, it's the key. So simple. And what we are doing by being here together. I'm so grateful for you both. So, my friends, if you need to go, I know for some people it's very, very late at night. I'm so grateful for you to be here. But if you can stay on a few minutes, we'd love to hear what else you have to say.
All right, so let's just look at a very few more concepts and then we'll stop. So what is good action? So we say this concept of renovation needs to take place through good thought, good word, and deed. But what is good? In every circumstance, it will be different. But the answer generally is that which is in alignment with righteousness and good order in the greater wisdom for all that is good. So the key prayer, called the Ashem Vahu, for those of you who may know it, is a prayer that states righteousness is good. The best righteousness comes through bringing happiness. And happiness comes to one who takes these righteous decisions, thoughts, words, simply for the sake of it being good. So there is no concept of reward from somewhere else. The being is the reward. The doing is the happiness. And that happiness is meant to be spread and aligned with the divine.
To make others happy.
To make others happy. So this concept of making others happy goes a step further in the words of the Prophet Zarathustra. He inspires one to take others with one to create a state of happiness, an existence that is happy. So it's not I'm bringing you happiness. It is we are sharing and creating happiness for the good of all. And that action that leads to this is to be guided by our own inner conscience, that inner light, with which we can discriminate between right and not right. Then, to refresh one's own existence happens through thoughts, words, and deeds. But this concept says, help me be like others who make the world fresh, and let me refresh this world through good action. So there is actually that statement. Then is the concept of actually fulfilling the complete renovation as per the will of the divine. So one could say, how does one define what is renovation? What is refreshment? It says it needs to be in alignment with all of creation and your inner self. Through the good mind, so your good mind needs to help manifest the complete renovation. So just think about it. If each one's good mind is important, then other people's good mind is also important. So it becomes our responsibility with making good choices, individually and collectively, so that everyone has a good mind. So we can all manifest this refreshment, this renovation. And indeed, in the very initiation ceremony called the Navjot ritual, it says, through righteous deeds, may we bring into existence a refreshed state in line with purity. So every child is actually vowing to do this. And this good action comes, we are guided, listen to the best, reflect upon it with your bright intellect, and then decide. So it is the ability to decide for oneself with responsibility so that we bring about the good of all. And there are concepts that guide this, which include the good mind, including good strength that empowers all, together with benevolence and devotion, so that a state of holistic perfection that sustains through time is achieved. But this light that we have within us is not a single light alone. While each light is important, it is to have this light together with divine love, so that all people are honored, respected, and their goodness can be nurtured. So thank you all for giving us your thoughts today, so that together we can go on this journey of Frashokereti to refresh existence and put forth all that is best.
As a last thought, a few lines from one of our prayers, which we sing. Khudavind Kavind Parvardigar, Namushtari Dargahe Hu Khakasar, Ke bhulo sudharu have roj roj, Bhalai vadaru karine roj, Ke mane pasbani matare suar, Bhala kam karva savare uthar. These are a few words, few lines from a very long poem. It means Khudavind Khavin, whom you call God, whom you call Bhagwan, whom you call by whatever name, Dada Ormas. We are praying to him, asking him to give us that freshness, that Frashokereti, by looking after Khudavind Khavind Parvardigar Namushtari. I bow to you. I ask you to give me that power to improve myself, to correct every mistake of mine, every day, every moment, every hour. The moment we realize that we have done something wrong, correct it straight away. Be repentant and do not repeat. When you say, I'm sorry, sorry means not to repeat what you have done to harm anybody or to do wrong to yourself or whatever. Anything that's wrong needs correcting. And the moment you realize it, or if somebody tells you that you've done something wrong, accept it and repent for it and vow never to do it again. That is the meaning of sorry. So you tell God, your divinity to give you that power to give you that resistance to bad and to do only good in this world. That is a good action. In any form, if you think good, you speak good, you will do good.
Thank you.
Now, we tell that divinity, please let me go ahead and refresh my mind. Help me to wake up every morning to do good. Help me, let me sleep with all these thoughts in my mind so that in the morning when I wake up only to ask you to help me to do good in this world, to have peace and quiet and happiness all over the place. Spread happiness. That is your primary duty in this world for which you have come. To learn and to pass on goodness to others. You will experience great amount of happiness by doing that. And that is your reward. There's nothing like punishment. God does not punish. He doesn't have a stick in his hand. He does not get angry with anybody or anything. You are the ones, we are the ones who punish ourselves by getting diseases if we eat wrongly, if we live wrongly, if our lifestyle is bad, if we exceed in doing things in this world which are pleasurable. Extreme celebrations, extreme everything, eating wrong foods, and so on and so forth. So we are asking that divinity, that God, that Ahura Mazda, to please give us that strength of character, give us that strength of mind to do good in this world and to negate all that is negative. Thank you.
Thank you, Mummy. Over to you, Reverend Margaret.